Always a good sign. Waiting. Okay. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Okay, we are good. We are good to go. We had some technical things to work out, but all is well now. It's how the world works.
Yes,
And
it happens. It does
it
happen.
happens. It happens. All right. So I'm ready to jump in if you are.
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome to Just Curious Media. This is Let's Talk Cobra Kai. I'm Jason Connell.
And I'm Sal Rodriguez.
All right, Sal, we are back for another episode.
Yeah, very exciting. Also very exciting to have hang on, Jason. I got my new microphone.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable. You sound amazing. You sound as clear as I do, my friend. But
Yeah,
we are back for
it's a beauty.
episode 8.
Yes.
Party time.
Yeah. Well, hang on. The title is misleading because you know what? There were some moments in this episode that were downright difficult to watch.
I totally agree. But I like the title nonetheless.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited. This is 8, and that leaves 2, but there's so much to unpack in this one that I am so excited.
Oh, yeah.
Really, there's a lot of things, like you said, hard to watch, sure, at times, absolutely, but so many wonderful scenes. And again, I love going back for notes and revisiting these episodes. It's like watching it all over again. It really is a treat. Because again, as I've mentioned in previous episodes, they do run together. And I'm like, where was it? Yeah, where'd that stop and where'd that one start? So tons of fun. But before we get started, Sal, a word from our sponsor.
Yes.
Support for Let's Talk Cobra Kai is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming and offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. And with this exclusive offer, you'll get
20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code cobrakai at manscaped.com.
amazing. That new mic is really paying off, Sal.
I feel sexier, actually.
Manscaped just texted me and said, bravo, sir.
Talking about manscaping with the new mic, I am at an all-time sex appeal level.
Unbelievable. So I got to get these things out of the way because we like to move quickly to the scene-by-scene breakdown, but Cobra Kai is brought to you by Netflix. Every episode in the season came out December 31st, 2021. This is season 4, episode 8, Party Time. And the rating, Sal, 8.5 on IMDb. Pretty good. It's not the highest, but that's a good score. And you're going to see some 9s, as I think probably like the end of the season. That's what happens.
Well, we got 2 more opportunities to hit the 9s.
Yeah, and you have one All Valley coming, so that'll be like over the top. But the synopsis for this episode is Miguel and Sam are excited about attending the junior prom until another couple unexpectedly shows up. Terry lures Johnny to a familiar location.
Ooh.
Yes. Exciting. Mm-hmm. So, Sal, if you have nothing else to add, we're going to jump into the scene-by-scene breakdown.
I just have a question.
Okay, a question.
Did you go to both proms? Did you have a junior prom and a senior prom?
You're jumping ahead now because there's lots of prom talk coming up. But...
No, I that's why I wanted to address it now because we might be in the thick of things and forget about it.
No, I will not forget about it. But just to answer your question, I only went to my senior prom.
Okay, but was there a junior prom when you?
I don't recall. I actually went to 2 different high schools.
Okay,
and was transitioning, and so I didn't go. There could have been one, maybe at one of the high schools, but this is a long time ago. But definitely senior prom. I remember it vividly. To date myself, songs from MC Hammer were all the craze back then. Okay. Hammer Time had dropped right around prom, so that's the era we're talking about here.
Nice.
A lot of fun though. All right, here we go.
Yes.
So we open in a random kitchen, Sal, and I didn't see this coming.
No, because you know what? For one thing, it's just sort of a unisex robe. I thought maybe this was could be a woman, right? Some woman making coffee and having pastries.
Yeah, but who is it?
Oh man, the reveal was so fantastic. It's Stingray. Stingray in a beautiful kitchen having a breakfast.
Raymond is back. played by Paul Walter Hauser, who's done so many movies since being Stingray the first go around. I remember vividly stating that no way Stingray is coming back, right? Just thinking like, unless he had his own show, does he need to come back? Well, here he is. I was shocked, and also so happy to have him back with us.
Well, I mean, if you're the lead in a Clint Eastwood directed movie, can you legitimately call yourself a movie star at that point? Because I know I would.
I think so. He was also in a Spike Lee movie, but you know what? He's a great character in this. And I figured they came to him and said, "Hey, do you want to reprise Stingray?" It's like, all right, yeah. And this show is good at that, right? So I should never put anything, past the show or think, well, never rule anything out, Sal. Never, ever, ever. So he lives in a McMansion, 7010 some street, but we know this is not in California. This is definitely in Atlanta somewhere, or Georgia. And it's his sister's house. To be clear, Stingray's not rich. He's not Terry Silver now.
Because we learned that at first. We don't know. Stingray's has a nice lifestyle. Huh? In fact, and I liked how who did that remind you of when he went out in his robe into the driveway and picked up the newspaper?
Goodfellas.
Okay, well, close. I'm reminded of Tony Soprano. Tony Soprano got
that from Goodfellas. At the very end of Goodfellas, Ray Liotta goes outside, and he's in the witness relocation program, and he goes outside and he's got a robe on, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a schmuck," or whatever. So it's so great. Yeah, it's a very tip of the cap to that and Sopranos. But he goes out there and he meets his neighbor. Who is Greg Hughes, played by PJ Byrne. We've seen him on tons of movies like Wolf of Wall Street, and this doesn't go so hot.
No, and this is one of these guys. I do not condone violence, but this guy needs to have his ass kicked.
Okay,
really bad.
Remember that.
By the way, and that's nothing against our actor PJ Byrne. He's fantastic. He's so fantastic. I hate him.
You hate him. He's a Miata owner. That might tell you everything you need to know. And they're going back and forth, and you can just tell, basically Stingray's already stayed his welcome here. He's already pissed off the neighborhood. I'm sure he's playing music all the time. In fact, he calls him out for playing Metallica music, but it wasn't Metallica, Sal.
No.
Who was it?
Was it Exodus?
Exodus. Yeah. Bonded by blood. And so Stingray's like correcting him. No, it wasn't him. And he goes on to say, Emerson said, "A friend is the hope of the heart." And just trying to, be philosophical and win him over. But Greg's not having any of this, Sal.
No, Greg says, and Hughes said, "Get your goddamn Frisbees off my roof or I'm calling the police." And by the way, he also said, "You are an unemployed man baby on probation." So he is just hurling. I mean, we, the viewer, this guy comes on hard. We're like, who the hell is this guy? Yeah. And for a second, I'm thinking it's his sister's husband, but no.
No.
Oh my God. I cannot believe
just prick neighbor. And he's like, of course, Stingray's keeps correcting him. Like, "Oh no, those arrow bees on your roof, those aren't Frisbees, by the way." And he's right. I'm really into Frisbee, Sal. I played a ton of disc golf. Back in Oklahoma, I won a lot of tournaments. So those are like Frisbees you don't catch, and there's Whammos for ultimate, and those are arrow bees, and very different breed.
No, well, it's also a different brand. It's like I don't go around calling all facial tissues Kleenex because they're not all Kleenex.
Yeah, right.
Similar. And by the way, one more thing I learned about Stingray, a man after my own heart, he set up a squirrel obstacle course in the backyard.
Gosh. Can we get footage of that?
I love squirrels. I love them.
Yeah, Nico doesn't love squirrels, but that's a whole other story. So then he goes on to also say, "You're into Kung Fu," corrects him again.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gives Stingray a new nickname.
Oh, this was bad. He calls him Stinkray. And what makes it even worse is that Greg is really proud of himself.
Oh, he's so proud of it. Yeah. That's going to stick. Well, no, it's not going to stick. Only you're the only one using it. But, you can tell Greg probably doesn't have a lot of friends.
No. And here he is chastising Stingray for not having any friends.
Unbelievable.
And this guy, no, I'm telling you, I want this guy to get what's coming to him. Absolutely.
Stay tuned, Sal. So now we're at Cobra Kai. And in the back room, Silver's hitting the back, and Kreese comes in. And Sal, what happens?
Silver apologizes to Kreese, and I guess I'm believing him, right? I believe what he says. He says, "Listen, John, I just want you to know I haven't forgotten what you did for me. I wouldn't be here if not for you, and I'll do anything to prove my loyalty. Anything." Here we are back in Nam. He
Totally.
said, "I mean,
falling
this
in
is
line. Soldiers falling in line.
You know how couples renew their vows? This
Right.
is like him renewing his vow to Kreese.
Yeah, exactly. But before we continue, we cut to the front of the dojo, and you got Kyler, and he's mentioning prom, and a limo's coming at 6 p.m. And then he goes on to say, because like you said, and I love what you said, he's always talking that jazz, and
He's always saying something, and
like,
but you got to catch it.
You got to listen. Rewind. Like he's like, because my date and I, we on a mission. He's just braggadocious, and then Piper pipes in and says, "Oh my God, I bet she doesn't even exist."
Nice.
I was like a George Glass from Brady Bunch.
Yeah, that's funny.
There. I was like, wait, did Piper just say that? Good on her.
Yeah, make up a person.
Sal, this guy used to date Samantha. I mean, I like Kyler. I obviously I do, but his character's just gone so like, what did they ever have in common? Like, we didn't see that really, grow. We just saw the tail end of it a little bit. So
no, hang on, Jason. Until you mention that right now.
Yeah,
I'd completely forgotten that Kyler and Sam ever dated.
He came over for dinner one time at the LaRussos.
Nice.
Yes. And he didn't like, the fish, and he wanted
the fish.
What,
fish sticks. He wanted fish sticks. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's the same guy we're talking about here.
Yeah. So he knows the LaRussos. He knows them.
Yeah, but I just don't see him and Samantha going on a date.
No.
As soon
Not
as
at this point in time.
As soon as she turned around, he'd be like, "I'm hitting it." He's so vulgar and funny, but not for Samantha. She's too wholesome.
No.
So now Robbie and Tory are discussing junior prom. Now, Sal, we learned recently that Tory's 18, and I'm assuming now she's a junior. So that junior 18.
Wait a second. Tory was 17, wasn't she?
No, that when her aunt came up, a lot of things came out. Her brother's 8 and she's 18.
I thought she said she was 17. I thought 17.
You're pulling a Mandela here.
Okay. Well, okay.
Or it could be like when my mom used to just throw extra years on my age. Like, you're 23 now. It's like, I'm 21. Maybe it was a mistake, but I just feel like, okay, but we're starting to understand, like, everyone's a junior.
But hang on though. Hey, Jason, if you're saying that Tory's 18, you're saying she's not going to be able to be in the All Valley then.
Listen, she said she was 18.
I think you're having the Mandela effect, actually.
Me?
I think you're having Mandela.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry. Maybe
you know what I really liked? I liked when she says, "Let the rich kids have their stupid party. Besides, can you picture me in a ballroom dress?" And I was waiting for Robbie to go, yeah. Waiting for him to say that. But no.
Gosh, maybe I am having the Mandela effect. I'm caught up on this under over 18 thing. But anyway, we know people are juniors now, and that's good to know.
Yes.
So then class begins, and Kreese's lesson is balance, but not the Miyagi-Do way.
No. Kreese, what, you kidding me? He could learn. This proves Kreese's ego. How big is your ego that you don't want to learn about, or you don't want to learn from a person who beat you, and that's Miyagi.
Yeah.
You don't want to learn how your opponent beat you? I'd want to know how my opponent beat me.
Totally.
Okay.
So what's he go on to say?
He says, "You're going to learn how to get inside the heads of your opponents and throw them off balance. Pair up."
That's not a bad advice. I mean, that's an interesting way to take it. However, this class, this like pair up right now, this session is just punch and blocks. It's like, well, what? That's got nothing to do with what he just said. And so Robbie and Tory continue talking about prom.
Yes.
And hey, there's a lot of flirtation going on here because we're picking up where we left off from last episode, right? So, they're building. There's a bond building here, right? And
hang on, we saw this coming when she was on top of him on the mat.
Yeah, you saw it back in the trailer. Yeah, you did, or even the first photos. You saw this coming.
I have a radar for sexual tension. Yeah, I do. I can see it. I can spot it.
Yeah. And it was
in other people, not in me.
It was brewing, and it was really cute. So they're talking about going to prom.
Yeah.
But Silver overhears.
He's like creeping around, eavesdropping.
Well, there's 2 senseis in a small dojo. So one sensei is always in earshot. And he comes creeping in. Yeah, he's like, "Hey, I like it. But if you're going to go, you got to go in style."
Nice. Nice. I'm liking it because you know what? I'll have you know, when I went to prom, speaking of prom, I borrowed my brother's Range Rover, my older brother's Range Rover, and I got to go to
Nice.
prom in style.
Listen to that Range Rover. Listen to you.
Yeah, that was before
Big time.
No, that was before I think Lemos. I don't think Lemos were popular yet at that time.
Right.
Now it's like everybody's in Lemos, but back then it's like you just got to try to get a nice car, get your hands on a nice car.
I thought you were going to say you borrowed your brother's suit from Dumb and Dumber, his blue or orange suit or tux.
Where'd I get my tux? I guess I rented the tux.
Yeah, suit, tux. So this scene would typically be over. We've already had a couple scenes of Cobra Kai, but no, wait, there's more because someone enters the dojo.
Wow. Well, Stingray arrives. And by the way, I think he foreshadowed this because he told Greg that he had to be somewhere, was going somewhere important.
Yep.
Right. So he told that. So here he is. This is the important place he was going to, Cobra Kai Dojo.
And he comes in with his "What's up?" the old Budweiser commercial, which is so great. But he throws it out there and quickly realizes, wait, none of you guys were born when that dropped. And he knows people, Sal, Eddie and Dieter, and hey, how's your mom, Dieter? Tell her you should have a cool stepdad. We should hook up. Like, how does he even know these guys that we don't know, Sal?
No, but I want to mention this. He mentions Dieter. Not a common name here in the States. Maybe if you were in Germany, maybe
Germany.
Notice that one of the producers of the show is named Dieter. So I think
there you go.
Either that was him or the producer gave himself a shout out in the show.
Yeah, I like that. It's pretty funny. Everyone's like, oh yeah. And some people don't know him, obviously, because a lot of students have come after Stingray's time.
Oh yeah.
And then he goes on to be like, hey, you don't have to thank me, for what I did. And I got some basic strategy ideas. And Sal, the Cobra Kai he was in is so different from this Cobra Kai. He has no idea what he's walking into here.
No, but you know what, though? I was kind of confused by Kreese's attitude because Stingray, remember he won the, what was the, what do you have to pull off your opponent's headband,
like the flag. They were doing the flag.
Okay, he didn't he win that?
But Kreese wasn't there for that. That was a Johnny thing.
I thought Kreese was there.
See, we're Mandela.
We're Mandela affecting
everything. No, that was
Johnny
and thinking outside the box, which he has problems with lately. But yeah, they played that fun, like capture the flag game. And so, yeah, he did pull it off.
Capture the flag.
He hid in the leaves and he came up. But no, that wasn't on Kreese's watch.
Okay,
so wait. Around.
Okay, well then correct me then. You're saying that Kreese and Stingray have no history?
No, that's why he's walking in. He's like, hey, calling him a buffoon. He's an embarrassment. He'll never be part of Cobra Kai because they don't have a history.
Okay. I thought they did at one time, even for a short time. I thought they did.
And he's not an ideal student for Kreese. He's not the right age. You know how Kreese is. He wants to get in these like high schoolers' psyches and control them. So anyway, he completely, blast Stingray, and he's just wait, what? Very sad. Hard to watch.
Get the hell out of here. But then for a second, after he says, get the hell out of here, Stingray thinks it's a test.
Yeah, it's a test.
Like he can't believe that this is happening. So his brain has him to believe that it's
surely
actually a test.
This is a test.
Yeah. So he leaves it. And by the way, did you notice that Silver? He noticed that occurring. He noticed Stingray. And I was wondering what Terry Silver was thinking at that moment. Was he kind of feeling sorry for Stingray, or was he just trying to back up Kreese, or what?
I think Kreese and Silver are just watching each other playing chess internally. Like, how's he going to handle this?
Interesting.
I don't even think he's paying attention to Stingray yet. Maybe, but I think they're really keeping tabs on each other.
Then it's almost like all the students are just pawns for them.
Well, that's exactly right.
Oh no, that's bad. Very bad.
So now we're at LaRusso's house. And Sal, we meet Louie's sister, Vanessa.
This was quite a treat.
Played by...
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Go ahead.
Played by Julia Macchio.
Unbelievable.
Whose daughter?
Ralphmacchio's daughter. Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
And she's fantastic, by the way.
She does a great job. She does a great job in this role.
Oh my... And Amanda's like, Louie's sister, she's more like Louie than Louie. Which is hilarious. Because we're like, wait, what?
Vanessa and Louie are like arguing over cheese.
Yeah, you kind of hear them and they're going at it. And, Louie's always got the lines, but then this girl like one-ups him. Nice. She's even better at Louie than he is. Nice. So that's pretty funny. So Amanda spots that. And then Yeah, while they're arguing, we find out that Anthony's grounded.
Yes.
Amanda and Lucille. Hey, shout out to Randy Heller. She's
Nice to
back.
see
We
her.
don't see
Nice to
enough of
see her.
her in this series, Sal.
No,
I'm
they
telling
throw her
you.
in now to appease us, I guess. But I would like to see more of her. And when we do get to see her, look, her and Amanda fighting over napkins. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
they have this weird thing, and it happens in relationships or in marriages with in-laws and things. And this is they've taken that thing here. Would you call that a trope?
The trope is that Amanda and Lucille kind of butt heads.
Yeah, they butt heads. They're having some issues, but then Sal, who arrives?
Okay,
Stingray. No, just
Stingray. That's hilarious. Miguel shows up, and we realize that this is like the meeting point for the junior prom.
The junior prom is on right now.
Okay, yeah, right now.
Tonight.
So Miguel is picking up Sam to take her to the junior prom.
Yeah, and he looks great. And Samantha comes down, and she's got a beautiful dress on.
She looks great. And by the way,
look fantastic.
Pretty in Pink again. Didn't they do a Pretty in Pink homage with her before?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I think maybe there is, because why is she in pink again? By the way, she looks fantastic, but why is she in pink again? I wonder. I think that was another tip of the hat. Another tip of the hat too.
Yeah, that was night of the went skating at the Cascade.
Yeah, and he was Crockett. Was he Crockett?
Yeah. I don't think he even watched the show, but maybe he did. And then they talk about like, hey, tonight, no karate talk, no rivalry talk. Let's just have a good time. And they have the corsages, and it's really cute. And they're really there to get photos, capture the moment.
Sure, there's some great photos, and I really love seeing Louie standing there with Johnny.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's funny. That really
was
funny.
Hilarious. And he says to Johnny, how's your weekend going? And Johnny's like, I'm fine. And he goes, Louie says, I don't hang out with those biker guys anymore.
Yeah, Johnny has like a vague memory of that anyway. So it's like, huh? What?
I love that so much. And yeah, everybody poses for some great family photographs. Yeah, really fantastic.
That's what happened to his car. It got burned up that night, blew up. That's when he had to go get a car at the LaRusso Auto.
Oh, it's terrible.
Terrible. That was terrible.
I mean, we're led to believe that Johnny remembered that. That's why he was
I'm just kidding. But
okay, I was gonna say, is it possible that Johnny was like, didn't even remember? Remember, he didn't even remember. Remember when he first walked into Anthony in the kitchen? Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, you're the son, right?" So he didn't even remember Anthony.
Doesn't know his name. Well, I like this scene because Rosa says Miguel looks more like his father. And Sal, Miguel's a good looking kid. And I'm thinking, okay, if we ever get to know or meet his father, could it be someone like Benjamin Bratt or Ezzy Morales or Lou Diamond Phillips? Could it be any one of those? Two of those were in La Bamba, by the way. But all good looking guys and great actors. Who are they going to go get? Because I just anticipate at some point in time meeting Miguel's father.
I think Isai Morales would be a fantastic choice because he would be an 80s throwback. I mean, Benjamin Bratt is great, but you don't really think of the 80s so much. When you think of Isai Morales, but I'm thinking of the way he looks, though.
Yeah, he does. He really does. And he's understated. He also has a look where it's like you don't know if you trust him. He looks like a bad boy without saying anything. And they've always said like, hey, Miguel's father was, a badass or a scary guy. Yeah. But yeah, that's my vote. He was on Ozark recently and I thought it was fantastic. So I would love to see him in there. So if you're listening, showrunners, give Ezzy Morales a shot.
Yeah. Shout out to La Bamba.
And then they take these family photos. So cute. Yeah. Loved it. Great stuff. And now we're at Reseda apartment and Johnny, Carmen, and Miguel. Sal, Johnny and Carmen plan dinner, and she's going to make un jornada de chancho. Is that right? Un jornada de chancho, which is?
Well, I'm guessing it's baked pork.
Baked pork.
But you know what? This is definitely an Ecuadorian dish because I nowhere in any Mexican. Yeah, I don't think in Mexican culture. This is Ecuadorian, just in case anybody was wondering. I think this is, Ecuador.
So then we see a familiar face.
Ah, what a shock. Yeah. I was really shocked.
And I should say, I didn't mean to confuse us there. It's when we see this familiar face, it's just Johnny and Carmen. They're planning dinner, essentially. And when I say Reseda apartment, my notes, I got a little messed up there. It's now encompassing Johnny, Carmen, and Miguel, and sometimes Rosa. The Reseda apartments is now like it's sheltering all of them. It's like they all live there in 1 and 2.
We don't know of any other neighbors at the Reseda apartments
No.
other than those you just listed.
But it's hard to say Johnny's apartment when he's hand in hand with Carmen, right? It's hard to say Carmen. So I'm just going to call it the Rosita apartment if they're together in this context.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to, qualify that. But Johnny and Carmen are walking. We see a familiar face or hear a familiar voice. Yeah. And who is it?
It is Robbie's mother, Shannon. She arrives, and Carmen right away says, I'm Carmen, his girlfriend. I mean, I had a girlfriend who did that once. Okay. I mean, she walked right up and was like, I'm his girlfriend. I was like, holy cow. Because it's not something I would do. I wouldn't walk up to I'm her boyfriend. I wouldn't necessarily do that. But yeah, other people are, very territorial.
But what does she share? It's good to see Shannon. She's out of the rehab. She looks
great.
Good.
Yes, she looks healthy.
She's got her wits about her.
You know what? She looks clean. She looks clean.
Yeah. And she goes on to share, well, Johnny excuses himself. He quickly introduces Carmen as his girl. Hey, this is Carmen. This is Shannon, Robbie's mom. Yep. And then they go, it's always good in movies when they do that. Carmen lets them have their moment.
Well, sure.
And what does she share?
Yeah, she shares that Silver is apparently getting involved in her life. He gave Robbie money and a car to use for prom.
Yeah.
And he offered her a new place and a new job.
Yeah.
And then he gives her a stack of cash.
This is crazy.
What's going on here? This is crazy.
And what does Shannon say?
Well, she says, if there's one kind of person I know, it's a rich guy who wants something.
And Johnny says, son of a bitch.
Shannon says, I tried to talk to Robbie, but this guy, he has his hooks in him. Since this is Cobra Kai or whatever, you need to handle this.
Don't worry, I will.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, but Silver, he's back at the dojo. He likes, Tory and Robbie going to prom. He knows it's going to put things in motion. Other people, other dojos are at this junior prom. It's all part of the plan. Balance. Knock Miyagi-Do down a peg. And then, but bringing Shannon's mom into it and offering her a job, it's just so sketchy, Sal.
Well, what kind of job?
Yeah, be my assistant. What?
Yeah. Well, no, I was thinking something more seedy at this point.
I was hoping that wasn't the case, Sal, but
I mean, I don't know. At this point, I think we're are we still not on board with Terry Silver or on board with Terry Silver at this point in time?
Ask me later. Ask me in 10 minutes.
Okay, trying to give him an opportunity. I think we're still trying to give Terry an opportunity.
I'm not trusting Silver at this point.
You're not trusting him at all. That in other words, that he's just on the level trying to win the All Valley.
I don't know. There's him and Kreese are equal bad.
Okay.
There
I go again.
If they could just rule each other out and just fade away. But
why do I want to give people the benefit of the doubt? Why do I do that?
Well, there are moments I did. Silver early on, I was like, wow, this guy seems like he grew a lot. And then once he gets back in Kreese's web, he's like, Cheyenne who? Mindfulness, whatever. I'm back in Cobra Kai. It's like, oh no.
You know what? You got to think back to Karate Kid. There's that one scene when he first arrives at Miyagi-Do. Daniel and Miyagi are out there training. He arrives. Yeah, he does. Correct. Karate Kid 3. He does the bow to them. He appears sincere. He says Kreese is dead. He says he's sent from where, Japan or Korea? I forgot what he said, but he says his sensei sent him, and we apologize for Kreese's behavior.
Terrible.
He does all this, and it's all a lie. Any guy who could do that, I guess he's not going to change.
He's not a good guy. No. That was sad. Miyagi even gave his respects for Kreese, who was supposed to be dead.
Horrible.
All right. So anyway, now we're at the junior prom, Hollywood Nights, and living in a daydream by Matthew Goodman and Matthew Bento play. Great music for the whole prom, I gotta say. They don't have MC Hammer going, but they got some good music.
No. We didn't have the what do they call parachute pants of MC Hammer? But we have a Pac-Man suit.
Oh my gosh. You took the words out of my mouth. I want that. I want the Miss Pac-Man suit. I love that.
That's the cool suit. I like it.
So Eli and Dimitri are talking, but Dimitri is pimping the Pac-Man suit. Yeah. And hey, they both went stag, Sal.
Yeah, I got to hand it to him.
And then we find out that Logan Wang's party was canceled because his little brother was in a middle school fight. So I'm assuming young Wang was part of the fight with, Anthony and Kenny in the library.
Oh, which kid was that then?
He was.
One of the kids was Asian.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wow.
He got taken out by Kenny and that kill.
Nice. Okay, now we know how. I like being able to attach a name to a face. Okay,
Yeah.
so there we go.
So that
kid is Logan.
happened. That's big news. But out of
Nice.
nowhere, there's a surprise. And who is it?
Yasmin comes in,
Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, looking as hot as Jessica Rabbit. And by surprise, she surprises Dimitri. He's not expecting her, right?
Yeah.
She's supposed to be out of the country, right?
Jessica Rabbit's from what movie, Sal?
Oh, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
There you go.
Yeah, fantastic classic.
Zemeckis, great movie. She didn't skip out on the wedding. She had time in between. Yasmin's got some money, Sal. She flew back to hang out, do prom, and maybe do the All Valley, and then zip on back for the wedding. So
and didn't she rag on economy class or something?
Yeah, she had because it was a quick flight. She had to do economy class. It's a lot. I've flown from LA to Australia. It was 11-hour flight, I'm going to tell you. And but I had a whole row and I just laid out. I slept for hours. But Eli is very lonely because he now lost his wingman. Not really a wingman because Dimitri's in a relationship, but he lost his buddy because he's preoccupied now.
Well, it gets even worse because he looks into the crowd. He sees Moon out there having a good time. It's not really established that Moon is with somebody there, but she's out there having fun, and he's standing out there alone, sulking after Dimitri walks away.
Right. And then Sam and Miguel get punched because you do that at a prom. You definitely go to the punch bowl. Hopefully it's spiked or not spiked, but
you know what? Today, I don't know if they're going to have a punch bowl anymore, unfortunately. But from this point where we're at in the show and before, definitely.
And they mentioned tornado kicks, which they weren't supposed to talk about karate or rivalries, but what happens?
Well, all of a sudden, Robbie and Tory arrive, walking through the door in slow motion, right? Looking fantastic. I mean, looking like they came out of a magazine.
Yeah.
And then Sam and Miguel are standing by the punch bowl. It's always there's just sort of an innate goofiness with being at a punch bowl.
Yeah. Hey, are you pouring or I'm pouring? Am I taking a drink? Yeah.
And the ladle's all goofy.
And then while that's happening, a song, which is pretty good as well, Ignite by 911, which is a very fitting name of an artist for this particular scene. And it is. It's that they would almost spill, like Miguel will be spilling his drink if you get what in the heck? Because I mean, they're dressed very nice as well, but a little more on the risque or hip side. They come in like they're not in high school. Like they're going to some award show or they're going clubbing. They're doing something not what high schoolers do.
No, they're going to be on a red carpet somewhere.
Yeah. And they've got a really nice car apparently as well, I'm assuming.
Yes. How about that? We'll see about that.
TBD.
Yep.
And Sal, is Robbie allowed here? Just question.
Yeah. They talked about that in the dojo because Tory realized that if she invites him, then he's her guest.
But I know, but there was a lot of, I know that, but
you mean like legally allowed?
Robbie personally, I know if, I go to school here, you're my date, you can come. But Robbie had some issues here and never went back here. So I think like Robbie's picture's on the wall somewhere, like not allowed in here, but
interesting.
But no one said anything.
No. Well, maybe somebody didn't check the list.
Yeah, they didn't check the list.
No.
He went with an alternate name. So his last name's Lawrence tonight. Conveniently, Lawrence.
Well, actually, driving up if he borrowed a car from Silver, he's Terry Silver tonight, effectively. If they run the plates.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're back at LaRusso's house, and Louie pitches Vanessa, also Ness or Nessa, on Daniel and Amanda because Sal, she's in her second year. She's a second year grad school student and studying child psychology. And they want nothing to do with this. Anything Louie's telling us, like, okay, Louie, whatever. Okay, thanks, but no thanks. She's, what does Amanda call her? Marissa Tomei Jr. Is that what she says? Like, from My Cousin Vinny, 1992 movie starring one.
Which one?
Ralphmacchio.
Oh, Ralphmacchio.
I confused you. You knew that.
No, Jason, it wasn't you. It was Marissa Tomei. She kind of throws me off. I've had a crush on Marissa Tomei for quite a long time.
True story. One day, I was eating in Atwater Village at a restaurant with a friend, and we look over, and there's one Marissa Tomei, and she looks just as good in person as she does in the movies. I was like, oh my gosh, there's Marissa Tomei. I didn't talk to her. She was eating with a friend, so I was as well. But that's my story.
Oh, there's
Sticking to it.
one of my favorite obscure movies is called The Guru. It was from I
Okay.
think the late 90s, and she has a part, and she has a scene where she's in bra and panties. It was so fantastic.
Well, Sal, since you're going to bring that up, I will share this with you.
You made love to-
a great one night that lunch turned into a leak. No, there's a movie, a great movie, Sidney Lumet, amazing director, rest in peace. But he made so many great movies. I mean, amazing. But Dog Day Afternoon to The Verdict. But this movie he made, Before the Devil Knows You're Dead, really good movie. Check it out.
Yeah.
See, has Hoffman in it. What was his name? Who passed away? Oh my gosh, I forget his name.
Robin Williams?
No, that's okay. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yes.
But Marissa Tomei's in the movie, and she's naked, completely buck naked, mini scenes, and it's like, my gosh, how old is she? She looks incredible.
God.
So if you haven't seen that,
Oh my God.
see it. Because A, it's a great movie, but B, there's the other reason which you might enjoy.
I'm wearing a sweater. It's getting a little hot in the sweater.
Yeah, a little hot over there. boy crush coming through. But Vanessa really shows her wits here, Sal.
Yeah.
And she rattles this speech off, and it's like, whoa, or dialogue. But please take it away.
Vanessa says, my educated guess would be he has environmentally induced disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, possibly related to a screen dependency or full-blown IGD. Regardless, I'd want to look at the diagnostic and statistical manual. It's an evolving science.
Wow.
That was tough to say.
You did very well. And Daniel and Amanda were speechless.
Yeah.
Like, huh? Wait a second. She's smart, and she's maybe right on with this, observation. And she hasn't even really talked to Anthony. And they both agree. They acquiesce and like, yeah. And Daniel's like, yeah, have at it. He's in his room. But Vanessa doesn't want to talk to Anthony.
No. She just wants to talk to Daniel and Amanda,
which is even scarier for them.
Yeah.
It's like,
Jason, I hate to say I told you so, but I think last episode I talked about there maybe being some neglect,
overlooked.
Yeah. When I say neglect, obviously I don't mean he doesn't have food and all that. I mean just like he kind of brushed aside. I think in the LaRusso household until now. I think the LaRussos are finally have to confront the fact that they do treat Sam differently than they treat Anthony.
Anthony had bad timing.
Or is it just they love Sam so much?
No.
I'm not saying they don't love Anthony, but they love Sam so much.
Well, sometimes a kid, if there's even if it's a single child, but they'll take to things. I think Anthony became very introspective and into screens and into video games. And it was like, well, he's being quiet. He's not disrupting anything, but Samantha might've been more involved in things, but hey, whatever. But this is the result. Anthony feels a little disconnected from the family.
Sure. And now the LaRussos are having to confront this. And this is getting into some of the things that may be hard to watch. I mean, this is Daniel and Amanda. We're getting into the inner workings of their parenting, and that's difficult.
It's good for a show to bring this up, though. I like that Cobra Kai goes there. There's bullying, of course, and we talk about it all the time. But this is a really good topic, and I love that Anthony's. Well, we both love the fact that he's become a real player in the show again, more than ever.
Yeah,
and I like this storyline, and we'll see where it goes. But hey, thank goodness it got Vanessa. Right?
Yeah,
family discount.
You know what? I hope to see her again. I really do. She's fantastic.
So now we're back at Cobra Kai, and Johnny breaks in.
Wow, with a crowbar. Yeah.
And this is, it's nighttime, I should say. He breaks in and the phone rings. This is like something out of a movie.
Yeah. Like something out of Taken.
It's like, whoa. Yeah, exactly. But please break down this crime for us, if you would.
You mean as far as what Johnny does?
Just the dialogue.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
because the phone rings.
It's traditional breaking and entering, Jason.
Johnny breaks in, which first of all, the door's usually open at Cobra Kai, but he breaks in. So, and he's asking, like, he's making noise and calling his name out. Hey, who's here? No one's there. The phone rings, just like out of the movies we said.
Yep.
And then this conversation.
Yes. Johnny answers the phone. as soon as he picked up the phone, I was thinking, what's he going to say? He says hello. That's what he said. I wanted to say something.
This used to be his office.
That's right. Oh my God, I forgot about that. We hear another voice on the other end of the line. Mr. Lawrence, breaking and entering, are we? And it took me a second to realize who that was. It's Terry Silver on the other line. Johnny says, I don't know what your deal is, but you keep your cars and your cash away from my son. Terry says, Prom is a special night. Did you even know he was going? Look, as long as Robbie's with me, I'm going to take care of him. Oh, and I got to say, Shannon, she is a special lady and deserves so much better. Yeah. Johnny says, listen to me, you ancient piece of shit. Whatever you and Kreese are up to, I'm going to kick both your asses back to the nursing home. That I love. Terry says, and you see Terry, this affected him. Yeah. You see it on his face. I love his acting. I would love to see you try. Corner of Magnolia and Lancashire. You know it well. I know it well, Jason. I'm telling you.
You do know it well.
Anybody listening, God honest truth, I could walk 10 minutes, I'm there. In 10 minutes, right now, I'm at Magnolia and Lancashire.
Okay, go. We'll wait.
I'll be back.
Yeah. So now we're at junior prom. We're back there, back to junior prom. And In Your Eyes by The Weeknd plays, and not the Peter Gabriel version, but I love The Weeknd. And it's a great track. And Robbie and Tory are dancing. And it's very Saturday Night Fever-esque style. Yeah. Like they're putting on a show. Man, this is straight out of that, you know?
Yeah. Travolta. They cleared the floor.
I'm surprised the dance floor doesn't light up when they move on it, you know, like Billie Jean or something. So good. And Miguel, he's staring. And Sam's a little jealous. So the first time Samantha's staring and Miguel's like, what? And this time Miguel stares and Samantha. You can just tell there's like an easiness about it. You know,
look at this.
They're kind of a spectacle at the same time. So
these are your arch rivals coming in, looking great, clearing the floor. I mean, they're practically going to be a shoo-in for prom king and prom queen at this point.
And let's not forget, neither Miguel or Sam have ever seen Robbie and Tory together, right? Ooh. That's something new. Wow. So they could just be going, wait, when did that happen? Not that it matters, but it's still something to take in.
Yeah. There's a lot for them to process in that moment. There absolutely is. Yeah, you're right.
It's not like I'm looking at her going, oh, I'm lusting for her. No, it's like, wait, what? So I think and they're teenagers. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You know what? Miguel's staring. Later on, Sam's going to be staring. Why were they staring? They just should have went to the other side of the room, ignored them, had their own good time. Instead, they're really wrapped up in Robbie and Tory.
Yeah, exactly. And so now back to LaRusso's house and the LaRusso house, and Vanessa's holding court, Sal. And Daniel and Amanda kind of stumble. Like they start acting out like this is really good for them, I think, to face this. And essentially they fail this test that Vanessa's put forth.
I think that any time a parent is challenged with their parenting style, whether it be in Encino or in some random Walmart, you would challenge a parent about their parenting style, they will defend and they will react. And that's what's happening. And it's fantastic. It's hard to watch, but it's really great. And you're right. This is a serious topic. This is parenting, the future of the world. Yeah. Very, very serious.
And what does Vanessa say?
Vanessa says
that pushes them over the top, by the way. That was like the straw that kind of broke Amanda's back.
Well, the straw that finally broke the camel's back, there's kind of two times that happened. Okay. One is this here, when Vanessa says, would you say that because of your demanding work schedules and now the dojo, that Anthony may have learned key life lessons from the internet rather than from you?
And that's on point right there. That's like, wow, hang on a second. Let's think about that. You're right. That's not the one that did it, but that's the one that was just, she's hitting very close to home here.
I think any parent would have to go to that question. Any parent would have to be like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The internet's affecting the world, especially kids. But the one that really did it here.
Yeah. Please.
This is where this was a test. And Vanessa says, now, why do you think you love your daughter more than your son?
That's right.
Oh,
yeah. That was it. Amanda's like, let me have that sheet of paper. And, they failed. So
that was
pushing
bad.
the buttons, examine it no matter what. So Vanessa leaves the room because they failed, and they're like, no, but they have what they needed. They have enough stuff to focus on rather than focusing on Anthony. Look inward.
Yeah.
It's a group effort here.
Yeah.
And really powerful scene. Loved it. And bravo to the young LaRusso.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The young Machio. She's fantastic. And yes, I want to see Vanessa more often.
Yeah. So wait a second. Is she Vanessa LaRusso? Because is Louie LaRusso?
No, well,
no, Louie's not a LaRusso.
No, I didn't. That's why he's not. I was joking. It's Machio.
Okay, no, I just want to be clear on that. Louie's not a LaRusso.
No, because his father. No, hang on.
Is Louie on his mother's side or on his father's side? But LaRusso is his father, right?
Yeah, it's a good question. We have to.
Oh man, we gotta.
He's the one in this third Karate Kid who's really sick. Uncle Louie. Right. And he's going crazy behind.
Okay. So that's on the mother's side.
Yeah.
So that means Louie's not a LaRusso.
Yeah, he's not.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got it.
That's why I was like, wait a second. They would have said that already. No, we don't know his last name because they've never said it.
That's hilarious. That like on Let's Talk Cobra Kai, we go all over the Cobra Kai Karate Kid universe.
Yeah.
And yet, is Louie a LaRusso? I didn't even know.
No, I didn't think he was, but then it had me second guessing. But anyway, so he's not. So now that's pretty funny. Now we're back at not back. Now we're at the original, OG, the original Cobra Kai. And Sal, please tell us where that is exactly.
Well, okay, the
address.
Okay, the original Cobra Kai on Lancashire, near Magnolia. It would be north of Magnolia, 5223 Lancashire. Okay, so in this instance, though, it threw me off at first. It did because the way that they shot it, they did a great job.
Well, it's also not where Terry says it is.
Well, okay,
it's not the corner of Magnolia and Lancashire.
It's not the corner, but where this is actually shot was in Tarzana.
I know,
and it's Ventura Boulevard.
It is
at Amigo.
But at least they did it in LA County. At least they did that.
Yes,
because when you see Johnny come rolling up, you see, Shalimar Indian Restaurant, which is what 18608 and a half Ventura Boulevard, Tarzana, California, 91356. So I was like, wait a second, that's not it. But hey, whatever, they're in the ballpark. I'm happy that we're here.
No. You know what though, Jason? I was upset that this wasn't in North Hollywood, but now I'm happy that it was in the Valley.
Yeah. Well, because there's lots of different dojos. Let's not forget, there was also the one on Wilshire Boulevard and Cloverdale Avenue in Miracle Mile. And the original Karate Kid, whenever Daniel, he's going to see his mother at the restaurant, right? Yes. And then there's a dojo in the background. He peeks through, and that dojo that was there. It was just external shots, and you could see him looking in. And that's where they set that one up for whatever reason. Maybe because the way it was a real busy street.
Yeah.
And I used to live on Cloverdale and freaked out when I found out that establishment was there. Then there's, the original we're talking about. Then there's North Hollywood. So, but at least they're all Los Angeles, and you and I are happy about that.
I am happy about that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So now we're inside the old Cobra Kai dojo.
Yeah.
And Silver, and I said Johnny, I'm sorry. This is not Johnny's visit. This is Silver showing off Kreese, showing this to Kreese because this is a big surprise.
Okay, but there's a little funny moment. It's a little nugget you would have to know. Terry says this used to be a candle shop.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
The funny thing is that the original location on Lancashire is now today a candle.
It's
like a
spiritual
that up. Store.
Exactly, because you went there that time.
Yeah, I went there
and recorded from there. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to go up here, and I think it's a candle shop or a yoga retreat something or a meditation store. Yeah, I remember that. So yeah, I was going to bring it up, but I'm glad that you did. But he's showing this to Kreese because he kept this big surprise. I mean, this is, Silver. He's got tons of money. And now we're flashbacking to Karate Kid 3 when they're in the dojo. Now, remember in Karate Kid Part 3, it's like it was never really restored. There was like paint, and then they broke glass in there. Yes. It was always under construction in the third one, right? It was never in its, even when Daniel was training there, it was just, he was the only student. It wasn't open for business.
Yeah, I like when the paint fell on paint fell on Silver, right?
Right. Fantastic. And in the beginning of the Karate Kid 3, Terry's in there and it's just being run down. I mean, who knows? They probably lost the lease. They were way behind on rent. You know, he was in a bad place.
When Kreese walked in all
when Kreese
dejected
came in,
and-
he's like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
But he goes on to say that they're going to move there after All Valley. Out of the, now don't forget, Johnny founded the location now that they're currently
in Reseda.
He got the lease from Armin and then got, lost to Kreese. So that he's bringing, Terry wants to bring him back. Silver wants to bring him back to their roots.
Wow.
And then they're already seeking more locations, but they must win All Valley.
Yeah, I guess Silver thinks that's, I mean, it's not really necessary to just open up dojos.
Not necessary.
But I guess he thinks it'll be good press. It'll be good
press. But he could also open, even if they lost, he could open up 20 dojos across the country, across
Terry
LA.
Silver. Here's what Terry Silver can do. He's so rich. Whoever wins All Valley, whoever they are, you go basically buy that kid.
Buy that kid. Yeah.
It's like sponsor that kid and take them wherever you want to, whatever dojo you're running at.
Daryl Vidal, come over here.
There you go.
Yeah. Xander Stone, come on. I like it. But Sal, they talk like back in the day, this is how we wanted it. And Sal, I never saw that day because back in the day, they never both did this. So this would be the first time they planned it, and Terry threw some money at, Kreese, and then Kreese ran John Kreese karate.
Yeah.
So this is a new era if Cobra Kai, when they get this going. And I do like the intercutting with the movie, which is always nice. And they do.
Hank,
yep.
Look, I just want to make sure that we mention that ending where Kreese says, as far as surprises go, this is a good one. And then Terry says, this is not the only surprise.
I know.
And Kreese caught that.
Yeah. Huh?
Kreese was like, I guess it's one of these things where, like, even though we're led to believe that Kreese and Silver are like, I mean, they're tight and they have a history and they don't trust each other.
They absolutely do not trust each other. And nor should they, Sal.
I know, but that's tough because, I mean, neither of them can be real friends then.
They're not friends worth having. So now we're back at junior prom, and Bert talks to a girl, which is really funny.
Oh,
He's laying it on thick,
Yeah, he tells her the tournament's coming up in a week. I'm at Eagle Fang Karate. You may have heard of it. It's pretty badass.
Sounds like a young Johnny, doesn't he?
I love that.
And then who pops in? Making a lot of appearances this episode, I should say.
He's sticking his head in everywhere. Stingray arrives, peeking around the corner.
Yeah.
And he tells Bert that he's looking to rejoin Cobra Kai.
Sal, is Stingray allowed back in school yet? I think he had a restraining order, and then I don't think Stingray should be here either, but there's no security tonight.
There's no security because, that is the high school where Stingray literally assaulted some students.
Question. They may not be at the high school.
Sometimes proms
my
are not
prom
at the high
was
school.
off location, so maybe I should go back. Maybe that's why Robbie could go to prom. Although they'd still probably be like, "Hey, you're not affiliated," but I don't think junior prom is on campus.
No, you know what? That's a very good point, and that would make sense because they could say, "Hey, Robbie's not allowed at this school. Robbie Keene is not allowed at this school." But meanwhile, the loophole is that it's somewhere else. Oh, wow, that makes total sense.
Same thing.
Yes.
So that's it.
We've solved
it. We've solved it. Case closed.
Good night, America. Good night.
So yes, he learns of Eagle Fang Stingray. This is news to him. He thought Cobra Kai was still Cobra Kai. Well, it's morphed, and there's Eagle Fang, there's Miyagi-Do. So he's learning this, but he also learns about the party not going through, being busted, the after party, and he decides to host it.
Yeah.
Smart move.
Literally inviting the entire prom to your sister's house.
Yeah. You know who's going to love this?
That guy,
Greg Hughes.
Greg Hughes is going to love it. And I'm dying to meet Stingray's sister, who's going to come home after this.
Yeah. Where is she? I don't know. So Robbie and Tory slow dance. They're getting really cozy.
Yes.
Wow. LA Alone plays by Sorry. I like that. LA Alone.
There's a little tender moment where Tory, and by the way, Tory, right? We all know she's a tough chick, right?
Tough.
She lets her guard down. She puts her head on Robbie's shoulder. Very tender moment, letting her guard down.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also learned that Shannon, Robbie's mother, was a dancer.
Interesting. What kind of dancer?
I don't know. Johnny met her somewhere. Was she a cheerleader? Was she
Yeah.
a dancer, exotic dancer, or was she a dancer, like a trained dancer?
Yeah. I mean,
I
my
think
girlfriend used to be a dancer. She used to do like hip
yeah,
hop dancing for like Adidas and Fila and stuff like that, like industrial shows.
yeah.
So my girlfriend's, when I tell people my girlfriend was a dancer, I think at first
You get
people
the
go,
same
"Oh,
thing we just went through.
yes, 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 yes.
No, but yeah, like you could say professional dancer. That would be
Yeah,
like, oh, okay, then she knows how to dance, all the dances, the salsa.
sure.
Like, what was it that Kreese was on?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was thinking, so you think you can dance? No. What's the show that Kreese
Dancing
was
with the
on?
Stars.
Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah,
There we
but
go.
like those dancers, they bring in these pro dancers and
Yeah.
they pair up. So
Yep.
Shannon was obviously a good dancer, and it's
Right.
rubbed off on Robbie. He's got moves, but Tori's probably a better fighter than a dancer. But very touching moment, like you said.
Yeah.
And Tori also sounds a little bit like Daniel from the Karate Kid. And she
Yes.
says,
Interesting.
and she's talking to Robbie, and she's like, I mean, all these Encino kids, as she looks around and scans the crowd as they're
Yeah.
talking. I mean, all these Encino kids have their whole lives cut out for them. I'll never have that. But if I could just win this one time, then I could look at that trophy and know I was the best at something. That does remind me of Daniel. He's just trying to prove himself. Maybe, well, his emphasis or his motivation was, I don't want to get bullied anymore. I beat up all the time. But there was something there that, she's seeing the rich kids. If you went to a school where it had the class division. So I went to a high school. I went to 2 high schools, but the second high school, it was a big different in classes, right? They bust some kids in, and other kids were super rich, and they had the brand new BMWs and Mercedes in the parking lot. And it was like, wow, look at this. It kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
Well, I could see Tory taking this in this way,
No, and you know what? You're right about that comparison with Daniel, because Tory has a single mother, Daniel had a single mother, and let's not forget, again, it's easy for all of us. Oh, Tory, she's I think Tory's still like the bad girl, Sam's the good girl. Like if you have like, the cowboy wears black, this cowboy wears white. Tory is still with Cobra Kai, right? So it's easy for us to think that she's like on the dark side. Let's not forget, she is a struggling kid and was sexually harassed by her landlord. Remember that? I just remember that. Her landlord literally, threatened to like, oh, if you mess around with me, I'll let you stay, until Kreese came in, right?
Yeah.
Put the cigar cutter on the guy's finger.
Yeah.
So let's not forget about what Tory has been through. So her letting down her guard with Robbie tonight, I think is very special.
Absolutely. And I said this earlier, but Sam now stares at this scene and Miguel's jealous. So they kind of go back and forth. The first time they both like are shocked they're there. And then Miguel stared, or Miguel stares, Miguel stared the first time. Sam was jealous. This time it's Sam stares, Miguel's jealous. But again, they're taking this in. It's like, wow, and they kind of, I don't know if there's any jealousy per se by looking at this spectacle. It's just a lot to process, as we've already talked about.
I just wish I had been there and could shake up Sam and Miguel and be like, just stop looking at them.
Yeah.
Go to the other side of the room.
Yeah. This is your junior prom as well. Enjoy it.
You have a right to be there as much as anybody else. Yeah. I would not allow my evening. I'm very much the kind of person that's like, you're not going to ruin my evening.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you ruin my evening, you won. You know what I mean? And
exactly.
I don't believe in that.
Yeah, you'll ruin your own evening, Sal.
If anyone's going to ruin my own evening,
I got this.
Nobody can surpass me ruining my own evening.
So now there's a aerial shot, night shot of the valley. Beautiful shot. Yeah. And now we're at Cobra Kai Classic, which I want to call it. And
Cobra Kai 1.0.
Sal, the Eagle Fang van arrives.
Yes.
What happens?
Yeah, the van swoops in.
Yeah.
Is what it does. And Johnny walks in and immediately,
no crowbar.
No, maybe he should have had the crowbar with him. How about that?
He should have,
yeah. And he walks in immediately kicked by Silver. As soon as he walks in, would you call it a sucker punch, a sucker kick?
Yeah, sucker kick.
Yeah.
And then he shares because Johnny's down, and Silver shares his plan with Kreese, and is just shocked that Kreese is not digging this plan to jump Johnny, which is essentially to beat him up so he'll look so disheveled and, bloody faced that his own pupils, like Miguel, will be off their game. They'll be out of balance. for the tournament. It's a very sinister plan, Sal. I mean, this guy's, well, we knew he was next level bad and demonic and a sociopath from the Karate Kid 3. And this just reaffirms that.
Okay, so the one iota where maybe Silver,
It's gone.
maybe because hanging out with what was his girlfriend's name
Cheyenne.
again? Maybe hanging out with Cheyenne, using the mindfulness app. Maybe I wanted to give him some. No. This scene proves it. Terry Silver is evil.
And then Johnny fights back. It's actually a really good fight. I mean, he got sucker kicked. Okay. Yeah. And then he fights back and they're going, tit for tat. He's holding his own.
Johnny Lawrence fighting Terry Silver. That's amazing to see.
And Silver's even like, hey, Daniel taught him some defense because Johnny's blocking. And then there's a spinning back kick. Johnny takes this hit and he goes flying. Although I know it was a good kick, but I don't know how it would have knocked him out that long. But whatever. He even knocks over these 2x4s. They break. And he's bested him, but it stops there because Kreese is not going to let it go any further. Okay,
Kreese is watching Terry Silver beat up Johnny Lawrence, and you could tell Kreese was not enjoying this.
Well, he saw him fight him, and then he wasn't going to let it go any further. Like he could have jumped on Johnny when he was down, and like in an MMA fight, and like pounded on him, but he didn't let that happen. And what does he say?
Wow. Well, John Kreese says, we agreed to settle this at the tournament, and that's where we're going to do it.
Very un-Kreese-like, I got to say. But
I know.
Terry Silver says, what happened to No Mercy?
Kreese says, I thought you knew better than to question me.
And Silver says, I thought this is what you wanted.
Wow. Okay, so I now feel Terry Silver's just evil, but still, is he trying to prove his allegiance, or does he have some other sinister plan? I don't know. It's like, I know you're evil, but now what's your plan? That's what I don't know at this moment yet.
But Sal, Kreese flipped the script.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, but
everybody flips the script on this show.
There's a reason, and let's go back to the last episode when we talked about weaknesses.
Yep. And
we may have just learned what Kreese's is.
Yeah.
He's got a soft spot for one Johnny Lawrence.
I think a weakness. I mean,
it's not a weakness, but it's
what it is, it's
vulnerable.
It's like a boundary,
Yeah.
It's almost like a boundary, like you're pushing someone's boundary by doing whatever that is. In this instance, beating up Johnny Lawrence, pulverizing him. Yeah, that's where Kreese.
Although Kreese was beating up Johnny in the end of season 3, although he wanted to kill Daniel, but
the only person allowed to beat up Johnny Lawrence is John Kreese. Nobody else has a right to do that.
So now we're at Stingray's house, and the after party is on. Nice. And so I wish Stingray had the drinks taped to his hands like he did the last house party.
Nice.
That'd be great.
He could have done that here.
And Dimitri and Yasmin and Eli are there. And again, Eli this time is a third will because it's like, well, I can't. He still felt. Unfortunately, Eli did not look like he had a good junior prom. Because
disappointing.
He just kind of
hang on
the fringe, on the sidelines.
You know why? At first, it was him and Dimitri, and they could have been just the two of them hanging out.
That was a good time. Yeah, that was a good time.
Yasmin, God bless her, she kind of messed that up, right?
Yeah.
By arriving, and then she's like, Dimitri and Yasmin are really getting hot and heavy here.
Yes, they are.
I mean, she's on top of him, straddling him.
They're gonna go check out the house.
Oh yeah, sure.
All right,
check out the spare rooms.
Now we see Sam, and she wants beer. No hard stuff, Sal, because I don't think she's going to play that. She's not going to play that drinking game again, standing on a chair and the balance game. And then Miguel spots Robbie. Of course, they're there. They're at the after party. But what happens?
Yeah, they have a little face off as soon as Robbie walks in. Miguel's sort of in the kitchen area.
Yeah,
they have a little face off, but then all of a sudden,
out of nowhere.
All of a sudden, the music stops, the lights kind of go out, right?
Yeah.
And it's, what's his name again?
Greg Hughes.
Oh, this guy. And he's in his robe. Lots of robes in this episode.
And he's going to call the cops. This is a neighborhood. Families live here.
Yeah.
And then he starts to make fun of Stingray.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is where for one thing, isn't he trespassing officially at this moment?
He is.
Right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, no, he takes whatever he's gonna get.
And Raymond Stingray handled all that he could. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, he's in your own house, or his sister's house, calling him out. And Stingray's had enough. And he puts him in a wrist lock, knees him, inside axe kick. Nice. He takes him out. And Sal, I know you love this because you wanted Greg to get it in the first scene when he was cleaning his Miata.
Yeah.
And, I don't mind this either. He had it coming. He didn't hurt him too bad. Yeah, he took a few shots. It's not to say that Greg couldn't still call the cops, but maybe he's incapacitated for a little while and the party's back on.
We don't get a follow-up on this.
No.
I do want to see what becomes of Greg. I do want to see.
And then everyone's chanting. Not Stingray, but
no. Stingray is king.
He's the man. He's back. Now we're at LaRusso's house in Anthony's room, and Daniel enters. And Sal, this is a scene out of a movie where a father goes and apologizes for the actions that they, their actions. And so I've seen this like in 16 Candles and other movies. This is tough. I know, Anthony, no screens and all the tournaments talk and the pressure. And then while he's telling him this, I knew this was about to happen.
Did you?
I just could tell by the way Anthony's like,
he's being too good.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, no, yeah. But then what happens?
I like that. Yeah, because I was gonna call him Ralph. Daniel is saying we're trying to help you grow into the person we know you are, right? He's trying to do the right fatherly thing, especially after the counseling session with Amanda and Vanessa. And all of a sudden we hear a ring. Like a ringtone, right? And we realized that Anthony would kind of sitting on or had his legs on top of like some sort of tablet, like an iPad.
You got to have that on mute. You just have to.
But Daniel,
oh my God,
breaks it over his knee.
Wow.
I've never seen him do that.
I don't think I've seen him this mad in a long time. I don't think I've seen him that pissed off. He freaked out.
Yeah.
And Sal, I think I'd call this tough love.
He broke a device. That's serious.
And he let him have it. He just basically brought the law down. Like, that's it, Anthony. No more. Like, he came in to, he just had the talking to with Vanessa. So he's been humbled with his own parenting skills. And he comes in and he's like, let down all over again.
Hang on. I just realized that he learned nothing from the counseling session.
Yeah, that was it. He did until he was just, we know Dana's a bit of a hothead. And so, that was it. It's all lost. It's all lost.
Well, he broke that tablet in half. He did.
Wow. So now we're back at Stingray's house, and Sam pours a beer and runs into Tory.
Yeah, interesting.
And they have this little exchange. Yeah, having a keg.
Yeah.
And then Samantha says, seems like you're always behind me in line. First Miguel, now Robbie.
Ooh. Tory says, I kick your ass, but I promised your mom that I wouldn't.
And Sam says, stay the hell away from my family.
Sorry, I don't take orders from tiny little bitches. Ooh.
Oh my gosh, Sal. And then Sam breaks the moratorium and all hell breaks out.
Sam struck first.
He did.
See what happens when Johnny Lawrence tutors you? Oh boy.
Yeah. And this is... it's on. It's a super. It's not as crazy as the home invasion.
No, well, it's just 2-on-2.
Ours deadly.
Well, hang on. It's not just 2-on-2. Robbie and Tory started like a couples dance fighting routine.
Yeah, that got
I've never
weird.
seen anything like it.
Well, so Tory and Sam are going at it. Some shots here and there, it's getting heated. Miguel gets involved, doesn't want to, kind of wants to break it up. And then Robbie always oversees something at the wrong time and looks and sees Miguel
it's like the fight at the school again.
Exactly. Like, well, you're obviously in the middle of this. Well, he wasn't. He got slammed in, fell on top, and he's right next to Tory. So it's on. Robbie and Tory do.
Tory and Miguel had a little moment there.
Exactly.
A little tiny moment there on the ground.
Like, hey.
Sam caught that. Caught that.
A lot of moments. Tiny moments. And then Robbie and Tory do, like you said, like a karate salsa.
Yeah.
And it's Robbie and Miguel. Then they break, then it breaks. They got to do like a spin, like you said, like a twirl kick. And then Robbie and Miguel battle. But it doesn't go too deep. Thank goodness. It doesn't go too far. No one's going to get hurt. And then Robbie takes a verbal shot and he says, you think my dad cares about you? he's just trying to make himself feel better for screwing up with me. Right in the middle of this whole thing, he's pulling some new Cobra Kai stuff to throw Miguel off his game.
You know what you're getting into here is psychological warfare.
That's exactly what's going on. These guys were in Nam, man. You know, they were in Nam. They were in Nam, and they're bringing this mentality, no holds barred, like their old sergeant. Remember how crazy he was?
Oh yeah.
So they're teaching it to these kids. Robbie's busting this out. And then Robbie also heeds Kreese's lesson. Sal, when a pool is nearby, well, he heeds his lesson by saying this and going there. And then Miguel's just like, oh my gosh. But when a pool is nearby, it's only a matter of time, right? Just a matter of time in this type of situation.
I should hope so.
So what happens?
Robbie delivers some sort of kick, but like accidentally kicks all of them into the pool.
And not himself.
No. We have Sam, Tory, and Miguel all going into the pool. Robbie's still standing out there.
Right. And then Stingray does a cannonball.
Why? He's like, hey,
it's party time.
Yeah. And I like what he says, this is the greatest night of my life.
That reminded me of the scene from Almost Famous, the film from 2000 with Billy Crudup. He's on top of like the garage. Is like, I'm a golden god, and they're like, don't jump, and then he jumps in the pool. But yeah, it's a great moment. Also, I got to tell you a funny side story.
Yeah,
when I was at the Rincon Film Festival in Puerto Rico, this isn't a humble brag, but I strictly background, my first documentary did win a couple of awards at this great festival. But awards night there's a pool right there, and you go up around the pool and you get your award. So I won an award, and I was just so honored, and went and sat down, and the people that I got to meet at the festival were like, oh man, you should have jumped in the pool. That would have been cool. So we're all like talking like, all right, if you go up there, if I ever go up again, or anybody, you got to go in. Well, then the audience, I won the jury award.
Yeah.
And then the audience awards happened.
Wow.
And then we won best audience award,
nice.
doc. And we won the audience award. So I go back up, and I'm like, I gotta do it. And they're all looking at me. I look over, the people I just met became your friends at a festival. And I'm like, all right, I get the award. Thank you. And I don't just jump in the pool, Sal. I do a front flip into the pool.
Holy cow.
But what I didn't know is that was the shallow end.
No,
I didn't know. And so I have this award in my hand, the trophy. I do a front flip, and I'm like, and I kept the trophy out of the water the whole time. Right. But I hit like 4 feet, my feet hit, I had flip-flops on, they shot off, and my tailbone hit the bottom so hard and so fast. Now I felt it immediately. I didn't break anything, but it hit so hard, you got to be cool. You got to play it off. And I got up, and I was like, yay, it's all good here. And the rest of the night, I couldn't sit down. I was in pain and agony.
Well, hell, you're lucky you weren't paralyzed.
And I didn't go neck. I got the neck out of the way. And then like,
what were you wearing?
People. Well, I had my phone in my pocket too, which I'd forgotten about. So that had to dry out the next day. It was pre-iPhone. It was a blueberry. It was a BlackBerry. But it was funny, when I went in, I was fine. I did a flip. I did a complete flip. It was just my feet landed, but they slipped out. And then 4 people just did cannonballs. So it was that scene. It was like I did start it. I finally got to start the pool jumping exodus.
Well, of people jumping in with their clothing.
Oh yeah, I had my clothes on.
Yeah, absolutely. Which I think made famous by It's a Wonderful Life, I think.
It could have been.
Remember the pool open, they're having the dance, and the pool opens up and they all jump in. Or they all fall in, then they start jumping.
Yeah.
That's what that was. But I gotta tell you, man, you're pretty crazy. I wouldn't do that.
Yep, still got the trophy. So then, but what happens is that lightens the mood. You go in the pool and like, the fight's been diffused, right? That's the thing about a pool. And then Tory talks to Robbie and then pulls him in. So it becomes like, let's just all go back to having fun. And I like that. We don't need to keep escalating this thing.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad it didn't go on and on.
But while they're having a good time, Miguel and Sam are mad at each other. They're upset, and they both want to go home.
Yeah. They walk out of the pool. And we don't see what car they're in. Is Miguel driving?
Well, I'm assuming that Samantha drove.
Okay, so you think Samantha drove them to
the
prom?
good car. Yeah. And it would make
got
sense
the convertible
because
Mercedes, right?
it makes sense because if Miguel and Carmen and Rosa drove over, they probably took that car back to their car home.
And they left Miguel with Sam, and then they
Miguel,
went in
yeah.
Sam's car. Okay.
Nailed it.
Most likely, yeah.
So now we're at Johnny's apartment, and Miguel wants to talk, right? Because he's upset about what happened. And Johnny, he doesn't know that Johnny had his own crazy fiasco.
This is one of those scenes of when I said earlier,
This is the
difficult
hard
to
one.
watch. Difficult to watch.
So he sees Johnny's passed out, and that's not a surprise or anything new.
No.
And he's helping Johnny up because Johnny's not passed out in bed. He's passed out in the living room.
When
So
the door's like slightly ajar,
yeah, slightly
right?
ajar. It's not even locked or closed. And Sal Miguel helps him to bed. And this does turn into a very emotional moment. And why don't you take the dialogue?
Oh, and I love these moments that give, we may take Cobra Kai for granted, this whole time, but
I don't.
Okay, well, what I mean by that is you have these moments where you realize, oh, these are really good actors.
They're so good.
I'm so used to Johnny's, him, being stuck in the 80s and all that, and when you see these moments, you're like, wow, I can really appreciate the cast itself. Johnny says there in his drunken stupor, I want to be a father to you. I really do. I try to protect you. I try to be there for you. I just suck at it. I really suck at it. But I want to so bad. And Miguel responds, you're doing just fine. I love you. And Miguel's in tears here.
Oh my gosh. Oh, when he said that, my heart just broke. Like,
my heart's breaking with Miguel saying, I love you to Johnny.
So good.
And then Johnny says,
no,
I love you too, Robbie. And Miguel reacts to this, and my heart is breaking as I'm watching this. I couldn't believe it.
It's his worst nightmare. And
oh my God,
Robbie just planted the seed.
Yes, let's not forget what just happened an hour earlier. Oh my God.
It's a dagger to the heart. And like you just said about their acting, Miguel, incredible. The way he took this, it's like, and it works. Miguel is completely off balance, but it rocked his world. Right.
Yeah.
Everyone's got some father issues in this show. Well, maybe not Samantha and Anthony. They do for different reasons. Their father's been there for them, but the other ones, not so much. Right. Wow. So this is tough. Yeah. And I'm glad we didn't. I always say like, oh, that's a good scene to end the episode on. I'm glad we didn't end it here because I needed to recover from this. This was just too heavy, too sad. Because Johnny didn't mean it like a slight of Miguel.
No.
He's drunk. In his heart, he has room for two, right? He loves Robbie and he loves Miguel. But Miguel can't hear that. He's not listening. He heard what he heard. And he's going to be a mess emotionally right now. It's tough.
Oh my God.
Tough.
This was so hard to watch. It really was.
And who can he share this with? This is something you keep to yourself. And it's pain. It's pain.
Yeah, because you know what? Johnny's not going to remember this.
No. And what's he tell Carmen? And so Carmen's mad at Johnny for making a mistake, an honest mistake. He could tell maybe Samantha, but I think it's complicated. And
not after they just had their big fight.
Well, no, not now.
Miguel doesn't. There's only one person that Miguel could talk to about this. Rosa. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, that's it. So now we see Quicksilver, spelled like how, Sal?
QUIKSLVR.
License plate.
Yeah.
And I got to say, maybe this is why Cheyenne's not around anymore.
Because he's quick? Is that the pill he was taking when he was looking in the mirror?
Yeah.
Is that what that was? The little blue pill.
I'm kidding. But so this is his Ferrari.
Yeah.
Had June 2019 tags. Sal, that checks out.
What?
It checks out with me because now we're getting ready for the 51st All Valley, which is on Saturday, May 18th, 2019, which is still in front of us. So everything checks out. These June 2019 tags, we're all good here. And
Come on,
we're good. Yeah, we're good. Well, they could have easily been June 2015 tags or June 2021 tags.
I see. So they got that
right. It
shows
us a time and place. They're right on it. They're on it.
Okay.
I'm not taking a shot. I'm saying that was done intentionally.
Few people would notice the registration tags, but you. Few people would notice.
Oh, I noticed that stuff. And Robbie and Tory laugh, and because that's who's in the car. This is the car that Silver gave Robbie and Tory to have fun. and they're having a good time. They had the best junior prom maybe ever. Like they've had a hell of a night.
Well, because even though Sam has a convertible Benz, I mean, Robbie and Tory rolling up in a convertible Ferrari.
Yeah.
I may have to take that. And that is totally Miami Vice also.
Yeah, and Tory just got back into school. Robbie's kicked out of the school. They're playing with house's money here. They're just having fun.
Wow.
Right. And their own sensei, one of their own senseis, one of the bicephali said, here's some money. Here's some good duds. You guys look great. Some good threads. Here's my car. And they're having the time of their life. And they're reminiscing about the night. They're reminiscing about the night saying, that was a good hook kick. Your dance moves were, leaving a lot to be desired. Or I love that twirl kick. And they're just having a heck of a time, Sal.
Yeah.
But all the while we're hearing Hear My Heart by Midnight Mantics. And what happens? And by the way, I believe we're out in front of Golf and Stuff.
Oh, is that where that is?
I believe that is all golf. It has to be.
Okay. Well, because at first I thought they were at the drive-in, but no, they're not at the drive-in when the camera turns around.
Right.
I also like that Tory has a price tag still in her dress.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then she says, I guess we should get our money's worth. And then they start to make out. And then Tory climbs on top of Robbie, not unlike Yasmin on Dimitri. And in this instance, though, Robbie's in the driver's seat. Look at Robbie.
Literally.
Look at Robbie. He's sitting in the driver's seat of a convertible Ferrari, and then Tory's straddling him. All right, go Robbie.
Time of their life.
Yep.
So now we have an LA skyline. It's dawn, and it's stunning.
Yeah,
I mean, this is one of the most beautiful shots. It reminded me of a shot from Night of the Comet. 1984 classic movie. It just, the haze of it just looked incredible. Like, this is part of Cobra Kai. And now we're at LaRusso's house.
Yep.
And Daniel's making coffee, French press, which I love.
With a French press. Yes. I've done that a few times. I liked it.
Oh, I do it daily.
Yeah.
And Amanda, and
nice.
Yes, I do. It's very good. And Amanda enters, and what happens, Sal?
Yeah, both them, Amanda and Daniel are standing there and notice that the trash has been taken out.
Yeah. Yeah. And they haven't had their coffee yet, by the way.
No.
So they're just trying to process this.
And they're like, what? And they realize that Anthony, he walks in, he took the trash out.
Yeah.
They didn't have to ask him to. He's never done this ever.
Never.
And then he takes the trash out and you're like, huh. And then, so they are stunned by this.
Well, what does Anthony say?
Anthony says,
oh, no. I'm sorry. Amanda.
Oh, Amanda says, well, I don't know what kind of Miyagi magic you pulled, but it worked. So she's thinking that everything's great now. Because he offers to go hang out at the dealership. And
yeah, exactly. He's excited about the tournament. Hope you guys win.
Yeah, but you know what, though? You look at Daniel's face, a little suspicious. Daniel's a little suspicious here.
Well, he wants to see. He'll get to the bottom of it. But essentially, Anthony left the room, and Amanda, they have the same initials. It threw me off. AL. Amanda and Anthony LaRusso.
Amanda LaRusso.
But
Anthony.
She says that to Daniel about Miyagi magic, which she's said that before, because there always seems to be this Miyagi magic. Every once in a while, Daniel will pull it off. Well, he had to go save, the account, the Dayona account. He had to do his Miyagi magic, and he went back to Japan and saved the day. But Anthony flipped the script here. And it's interesting. Maybe it was breaking of the tablet. Or maybe it's just like, I can't push my family anymore. I don't think Anthony is vindictive or malicious in the fact that maybe he just needed a wake-up call. And Daniel might feel a little guilty for getting that mad at him as well. But he's like, well, we'll see. We'll see if this holds.
You know what? I got to fault Cobra Kai for really not letting me trust people. Like, I don't know.
This feeds into your issue, Sal.
Yeah, I don't know what, what's Anthony's agenda here? Is he being genuine?
I think.
Meanwhile, Daniel seems suspicious because if you're Daniel, you're thinking, oh yeah, right. So now you're on board now that I broke your iPad.
He wants to see more. You can't just take the trash out one time and it's all good. I need to see stack some days.
Amanda's very impressed by this.
Well, because it was out of left field for her, but she wasn't in the room last night when he went berserker, right? I don't think he told Amanda about that.
No. He did not tell Amanda that he broke an iPad over his knee. I'm sure he did not.
So now we're at Cobra Kai, and Silver's been drinking and fuming all night, Sal. Pulling a Lawrence. I'm trying to combine the names. Pulling a Lawrence here. Johnny Lawrence. Staying up all night, drinking. The night he went up and did the penis on the billboard.
Oh, yeah.
So he's
Wait, because
and peed on his own car.
some people, alcohol affects you differently.
Exactly.
I know I've gone through, I used to be the romantic drunk. Then I became the angry drunk. Now I'm the sentimental drunk. That's the drunk I am today.
Well, Silver's the fuming, pissed off, raging drunk. And he's so mad, Sal, at Kreese, that is. And this is not a good time for our friend Stingray to pop back in and swing by the dojo. It's not a good time.
No, but you know what? There's a 2 seconds where Terry said, "Get out of here."
He did.
And Stingray could have done an about face. Instead, he does not.
He did. And Stingray, though, wants to plead his case why he should be in Cobra Kai. Wow. Hey, I know the head sensei. I know the guys. I'm friends with the guys. I've stood up for Cobra Kai. I'll do anything. It takes. And then Terry Silver has an idea, and you see it in his head. You don't know what it is, but he's now shifted from "get out of here" to, and what happens? So
yeah. So all of a sudden, with no notice, Stingray is now part of Terry Silver's plot.
Yep.
And he says, "So you want to be Cobra Kai?"
And Stingray says, "Yes, Sensei. I've already proven myself to my peers, but now I'm going to prove myself to you, sir."
And Terry says, "How bad do you want it?"
"I want it more than anything else in the world, sir. It's literally all I want. It's all I think about. I'll do anything, please."
"You want to be Cobra Kai? Oh, so you want to be Cobra Kai, huh?" And then he punches Stingray. "You want to be Cobra Kai?" And then he kicks Stingray. "You want to be Cobra Kai?" And he punches Stingray again. "You want to be Cobra Kai?" And then he kicks Stingray while he's down, kicks him in the ribs. "You want to be Cobra Kai?" And then the last thing, that was the worst.
It's criminal.
Well, this is where you start to get into the attempted murder stuff, right? It's one thing to punch somebody. It's one thing to kick somebody. He gives him a head stomp. He gives him a foot stomp.
Head stomp. Yes,
and then it cuts right there. So we don't really see it, but he head stomps Stingray. Terry Silver head stomps Stingray. That was hard to watch.
I don't know if it's a foot stomp or a head stomp, but it's a foot stomp to the head, and it is so scary. They cut away on it. It's just too hard to watch.
I paused when Terry Silver's leg goes up. I paused in there. I was like, "Oh my God, no."
And brutal, the whole time this is happening, this build up that you want to be a Cobra Kai, you want to be the whole time he's just taking these shots. We hear that music play. Gianluca Luisi, which was the music that Silver was playing on the piano from season 4, episode 1.
When Kreese called him.
And he hung up on him.
That makes it more brutal, right?
Brutal.
If you beat somebody up to classical music, it makes you more evil.
Well, because you know why? He's in his happy place. And this is what he's doing.
This to him is like playing a piano. How about that? Okay, Terry Silver is okay. How about this? We need to have a special episode. Who is more evil, John Kreese or Terry Silver? That's a tough one. We need to meditate on that one.
Yeah, let's think about that. Yeah. Well, yeah, because Kreese did try to kill last season. So I'd say they're equal camp. These are bad guys. Could they both not have fallen in the snake pit?
Yeah, how about that? Well, we wouldn't be here today if that happened.
We wouldn't be here today. Well, that's all I got, Sal. That was an episode to unpack. It may have been our longest of the season.
What are we talking, like 2 hours here? How long we've been talking to each other?
But this was a longer episode, actually. And then the finale is the longest. But I noticed that. I was like, next episode is a little shorter, but this was long, and it was a lot to deal with. A lot of scenes, heavy stuff. Like you talked about when we first jumped in, you said it. There are some scenes. Johnny in his room with Miguel, and he, expresses his love to Robbie in front of Miguel, and then you have Stingray going down, being a pawn in whatever Silver's plan is, and literally from the looks of it, he could be dead or hospitalized for a long time. We don't know.
Well, that's absolutely
right
true.
Now. Yeah.
But what I was going to say was, all we know at this moment is that Terry Silver is beating the crap out of Stingray.
Yeah.
We don't know why.
No, we don't know why. Whatever his plan is, we have no
plan. He's just in a drunken rage.
Or he just caught him at the way he flipped a switch was like,
wow.
Yeah, you want to be Cobra Guy? Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. Or maybe he wants to hurt him so bad and he'll show back up and get in line with the others. I do not know. I do not care. I feel for Stingray.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you know what? If Kreese had been there, he would have stopped it.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, then, okay.
Silver's gone rogue.
Well, then here we go. If Kreese would have stopped that, and if Kreese stopped him from further damage to Johnny, that would mean Terry Silver is more evil than John Kreese.
It changes. It's like that meter I was talking about in recent episodes. It's like right now the meter is Kreese or Silver is more dangerous, more lethal, more bad than Kreese. But Kreese could get that title back.
They both flipped the script, so one can go the other. Okay, yeah. There you go. They're bad guys. Bad guys.
Well, that's all we got, Sal. The end of episode 8. I'm excited to delve into 9 and 10, but I have to recover from this one. Party time. Well, a little bit of party
time.
It was also very painful at times.
Why do we have like 5 minutes of partying in this episode?
It was really cut short.
I want, hey, Cobra Kai, a little more partying next time, please.
At least you saw Greg get his. Sal. Greg Hughes.
That was my
There
part.
you go.
That was good.
So unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
And get 20% off and free shipping with the code cobrakai at manscaped.com.
So thank you so much for listening. And please be sure to subscribe to the Let's Talk Cobra Kai podcast, as well as the Let's Talk Cobra Kai YouTube live channel. You can also really help us by giving the show a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast.
And for all you listeners that enjoy sharing your thoughts, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, send us a direct message, or post a comment on any Let's Talk Cobra Kai social media platform.
If you're a dedicated listener or viewer of Let's Talk Cobra Kai, please consider supporting the show on Patreon. We also highly recommend checking out our other podcast and visiting justcuriousmedia.com.
No mercy.
Great job.
Thank you very much.